Hey, I'm actually excited about this one. It's another special. This one's actually another top 10, and it's the top 10 shows I want to see canceled only because I love them so much and I want to review them. Alright. It's of course my opinion. You can have your own opinion. That's fine. You be you. Let's get started anyway.
10.
This one falls under the category of, it's never going to happen in my lifetime. But you know what? A man can dream. Sesame Street. It survived Jim Henson's death. It survived probably a failing fan base. It survived decades and decades of new writers, new people in charge, constant marketing. There's so much to talk about Sesame Street, so much history, there's just so much good there. A good example of actual education for children that doesn't treat the children like idiots. There's so much that's incredible about Sesame Street. And even though it's not on PBS anymore, it's now almost exclusively on HBO, there's no sign of it getting anywhere close to canceled. So yeah, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, but I want so desperately to actually talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about Sesame Street. I want to be able to review it, but it's not finished, so I can't. My own rules suck sometimes, but I have my reason for them. Something new could happen in the series and change my opinion of that series. So I can't review it. Not till it's done.
9.
My Little Pony Friendship is Magic completely changed everything that was understood about the My Little Pony franchise and caused a massive fan base of people far beyond the intended demographic. It caused an internet sensation. It caused a almost revolution. It's full of great moral lessons. It's actually entertaining for kids and adults. It's just fun. There's a reason why it's been lasting as long as it currently has. And it's just a good quality show.
8.
Oh my goodness, One Punch Man. This is an anime that has been introduced in the just recently, just couple years. It is an anime deconstruction of common superhero tropes, and it's brilliant. The main character is this unstoppable superhero, this man with the incredible ability of pretty much destroying anything with one punch. And so he takes up hero work. That seems like a logical thing to do when you have a superpower, is to become a superhero and try to save people. Thing is, he has not met any actual challenge because destroy anything with one punch. And the brilliant thing is, he's bored. The character is bored because there's no challenge. And it's become a brilliant series when an actual threat does appear. When an actual threat appears, it changes the series dramatically and makes it absolutely brilliant.
7.
There's a lot I want to say about Family Guy, and really Seth MacFarlane in general. I'm sure I'll have my chance. It's not the only series he's ever made. But still, Family Guy is the big one. Family Guy is the one that put Seth MacFarlane on the map and allowed him to make other cartoon series. And Family Guy is the one that is still around and is still being compared to other shows of its type, like The Simpsons. It's the huge, culturally relevant show by Seth MacFarlane, and so yes, I do want it gone only so I can talk about it, only so I can review it. So, yeah.
6,
Oh my goodness. Steven Universe. This show, I didn't know was going to be as great as it was. At first, it didn't seem all that great when I first started watching it. But it has evolved and progressed into this absolutely deep and complex and wonderfully written show. I can't wait to see what happens next. I have to know how all of the storylines that they are crafting right now turn out. I want to see the show in just so I can review it, but I don't want it to happen yet. I've got to know how these storylines are going to turn out. And the characters are fantastic. The settings, the themes, the music when they actually sing. All of this is excellent. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
5,
Oh, there's so much I can do with Attack on Titan. So much I could talk about. So much I can analyze. It is a very popular anime. And after one season and one movie, it still shows that it's going to keep going. This doesn't make it as high on the list as some of these other shows I'm going to be talking about. Only because I think it's the popularity of the show at the time that is making me want to review this now. Making it hard for me to wait. Honestly, I don't care as much for it as a lot of the other ones on this list. But the world around me seems to. So,
4,
Star Wars Rebels almost has me completely hooked. It is a great expansion of the Star Wars universe and pulled me right back in. Just when I thought I was out, it pulled me back in. Pretty much just in time for The Force Awakens. They did an excellent job in actually forging a world that fit in between the two trilogies, and enraptured me, and drew me in and kept me there with these new characters and wanting to see how they tied in to the storyline between the two movies. I actually care about what happens to these people and why I didn't hear about them in the original trilogy. Where are they? What happened to them? How is this Rebel Alliance actually getting started? This is all very interesting stuff to me that I want to see filled out. Yeah, and Rebels definitely has me hooked, and whenever I have an opportunity to see an episode of it that I haven't seen before, I often go out of my way to see it.
3,
Star and the Forces of Evil. Whew, boy. This is another one of those shows that blew me out of the water. I absolutely had no idea it was going to be as good as it was. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is incredibly well written, and at least through the first season, didn't immediately want to push the male lead and the female lead together. They're friends, they're housemates, they're not necessarily lovers. And there's a lot of comedy, but there is also terrific action and suspense. The serious villains of Toffee and the headmistress of St. Olga's. I care a lot about the threats they actually bring to the series. All the while, the joke villain of Ludo is enough of a threat that when he does things, you do care, but he's not to be taken seriously. But there are plenty of other things written in the series where they don't actually fight a villain. They just have some crazy magical mishap happen, or... I actually really love this Disney Toon a lot, and I'd have a lot to talk about already, even if the show got canceled tomorrow.
2,
I love The Simpsons. I grew up with The Simpsons, and The Simpsons falls into the category of, yeah, that's not going to get canceled. It's brilliantly written, somehow manages to stay culturally relevant with The Simpsons episodes, even after all this time. A lot of people might say that The Simpsons are far past their prime, not as good as it used to be, needs to be cancelled any moment. It is still clearly beating everything in the ratings as far as the Fox Animation lineup is concerned. And yeah, its ratings have declined, but everything's ratings have declined. When it was past its shock value, when you were past the fact that Homer Simpson was choking Bart, and Bart was saying all these words that a lot of people would think you couldn't say on television, especially not from a cartoon character, it took those people that it hooked in and kept them with the irreverent humor, the intelligent humor, well-written comedy and storylines and characterization that had kept The Simpsons going strong all this time.
1,
I'm almost convinced that South Park will never die. It's one of those cartoons that seems to be hanging on forever, and is still good at this point. Once you're past the first season of South Park, it gets extremely good. They stop relying on the shock value and the initial pushing of the character's personality towards the audience, and it starts getting into the discussions that Trey Parker and Matt Stone want to ease into the audience's head. They are very good at using satire and parody to push their political opinions. However, they do it in such a way that doesn't alienate their audience, and that takes a lot of talent. And let's face it, South Park, with how ridiculous they do things, with how they manage their satire, it's still fun. It's very funny. And that's why I can't wait to review it. It's that good. Well, that does it for my list. I hope you enjoyed watching. Of course, this is my opinion. You could have your own. Hey, you be you. And when I have another gap in my schedule, when I can actually afford to write and do any of these, I will. And maybe it will be a top 10 list. Maybe it will be some other thing where I'm just talking. Who knows? But I'll work on another, whenever I have any spare time, I'll work on another one of these specials or one of my other projects. Try to get those out there. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with my stammering, my lost train of thought, my the stuff I do when I'm mostly unedited. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again. Well, or you'll see me, because cameras only work one way. Regardless, stay tuned.